Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Kaylee and I have spent the last 2 months traveling around Iceland and the Canadian Rockies, and today we're going to be reviewing our favorite travel camera that we brought along for these adventures, the Insta360 X3. Be sure to stick around until the end of this video because we're going to go through our favorite tips and tricks for using the Insta360 and post-production.
For those of you who don't know us, I'm Kaylee.
I'm David.
And we run a travel and adventure vlog called Need to Explore.
We are passionate about things that get you outside and off the beaten path.
And we're really pumped about this camera, specifically for hiking,
Yes.
but for a lot of outdoor adventures. It is just a really cool thing to add to your travel camera gear setup. So hands down, the biggest benefit of using this Insta360 X3 camera is that it is a 360 degree view. So it is 5.7K, there's two cameras, one on each side, and it stitches together to show you kind of an entire 360 degree view of wherever you're going. So if you've ever been doing something cool and you're trying to videotape yourself and then you're like, oh, I missed my face and or things are off centered or whatever, you will not have that problem anymore with this camera.
Capturing 360 degree views is super easy for editing, and you can have a lot of fun making unique transitions. We've had a lot of fun when we go to post things on social media, being able to flip and scroll and swipe to the side without having to worry about it while you're filming. All you have to worry about while you're filming is the perspective that you want the camera to capture what you want to record. So along with being able to capture pretty much absolutely everything, this camera also has voice control. It is very durable, and we beat this thing up pretty good and never had anything happen to it. We do have some tips at the end to help with that. It is also waterproof to 33 feet straight out of the box, but you can also add a dive case, and me and Kaylee are big fans of scuba diving. We haven't been anywhere warm in a while, but we are probably going to go somewhere warm this winter, and we're definitely going to be getting a dive case for this and taking it down with us.
Absolutely. The stabilization on this camera is absolutely insane. We've ran with it, been hiking with it, been doing kind of crazy things with it, and it barely tell. The video looks amazing, which is what you want from an action cam for sure.
We previously have used a GoPro, and that's kind of obsolete now, I think. This is going to be way better. Definitely our go-to one. Yeah,
to be honest, the Insta360 X3 kind of blows a GoPro out of the water. Yeah, just because you can customize so much later. It gives you so many more options. If you are just filming yourself, you can put this camera on something called me mode, which we don't use a lot. To be honest, we like to have the control of editing things after, but it could be really helpful if you just wanted a video kind of on your face and you were moving the camera around. Basically, it'll just stay locked in on you for the whole time you're filming. So that is a really cool feature. You can also have the option of just using one camera or the other, but again, we would just recommend always being on. Yeah, why not, right?
That way you never miss anything.
Yeah.
For all the mega camera gurus out there, this camera is pretty customizable. Unlike some of the ones that are more designed for amateurs, this one you can customize frame rate, resolution, and in-camera color grading. If you like those settings, we tend to keep it pretty standard because we like to do a lot of our grading post-production. But if you want to do things in camera, it's really easy to scroll through the settings and make any adjustments required. While you're flipping through those settings, the camera also has in-camera vibration, so you know when you select a certain setting.
The Insta360 X3 has a 72 megapixel camera and 8K time-lapse.
The time-lapses you can create with this are really cool. We have kind of just gotten into that, but we plan on using it a lot more while we're traveling.
Yeah. So while there is a shorter stick that you can use, we are very big fans of the 3-meter extendable invisible selfie stick. So this is huge. It really...
I don't know if we can extend it in here.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, we can. But it's lightweight. It's a lot lighter than it looks.
Yeah.
It's easy to travel around with. Sticking it beside our tripod in the side of our camera backpack makes it really easy. And the camera, honestly, just screws onto the top here. So we have this on here almost 100% of the time because it makes it so easy. You can use it fully contracted if you want, just to do like selfie stuff, or you can do it all the way and it pretty much takes over the same perspective as a drone would.
Yeah, so this is one of the biggest things for us when we're hiking in Iceland, hiking in the Canadian Rockies with the Insta360 X3 is a lot of these places are protected, they're national parks, you're not allowed to fly a drone, but drone footage is really cool, that aerial shot, right?
Absolutely.
So with this camera, you can get drone-like footage without a drone.
As far as accessories go for the Insta360 X3, we have the camera, we have a memory card, we have this neoprene case, which is actually very, very handy. It protects the camera while it's in our bags. And then we also have the selfie stick. We have a few other accessories, but we haven't used them very much. So these are the top ones that we would recommend that you buy.
Yeah, and then as mentioned earlier, you can get the dive case, which is definitely next on our list. And you can get screen covers that stick on, but we're going to talk about those a little bit later in the tip section, and we're going to go over why we don't use them.
Yes, and for people who want to use this to record content and record audio, you can buy the audio equipment to have an external mic.
So to edit the Insta360 videos, they have two separate areas where you can do this. You can download an app on your phone, which we would recommend doing. It's a little bit simpler than the computer version. Depending on what you're doing, the app on the phone could be great. If you want to do anything a little bit more complicated, or if you're using these videos for YouTube videos or anything like that, you're going to want to download the computer program. If you go to their website, it's just super easy to download and it's free if you've already bought the camera.
Thank you guys for sticking around so far. Now we're going to get into our favorite tips and tricks for using the Insta360 X3.
So first things first, let's talk about why we don't use the sticky screen protectors. So we actually put these on for our first few days in Iceland before we had learned too much about them. And while it is nice to have something covering each screen, there's a few downsides to them. So one is decreases the image quality just a little bit. It's nothing crazy, but if you are using this for YouTube videos or you want the best quality video you can get, you're gonna want to avoid the screen covers. The next thing is, this could just be us, but I think when we had the screen covers on, we were less cautious about putting it into a different case and stuff like that, and the screen covers got scratched. So at that point, it became really difficult we just took them off because...
I think they do scratch a lot easier than the lens that's actually on the camera, because this would be a glass lens, I believe, and the screen protectors are just plastic. So it's softer material, and we were less careful with it because we knew it would be protected, and that didn't work out with it for us. So don't use those. Use the neoprene case when you're not recording with it, and just be careful about the lenses, but don't use the covers.
Yeah.
Next up is to get a nice big memory card. We'll link the one we use below, and the reason for that is because it uses 5.7K video, which fills up a memory card extremely fast. So I'm like pointing at you like you need to do these things with the camera. It's kind of weird. I'll put it down now.
It's like a teacher with a phone.
Get a nice big memory card. I'd recommend 256 gigabytes at least, because if you're on a trip, the last thing you want to worry about is recording, getting an amazing shot, hiking across a mountain, skiing down a peak, and your memory card fills up. So be sure to do that.
In terms of holding the stick out, you're going to want to play around with it a little bit. We've kind of found some favorite positions, but your arm can get kind of tired and sometimes it looks a little bit awkward. So the software of the Insta360 removes the selfie stick, making it invisible. So holding it kind of straight out works pretty good. If we want it to look like a drone shot, we'll just hold it out behind us. David's got a lot more arm strength than I do. I usually have to like kind of brace it underneath my arm to do that, but it actually works pretty well.
Our last tip, sometimes when you're reviewing the shots that you've gotten on the camera, you can see the line where both lenses meet and it doesn't look that great. But in post-production, when you go to edit it, you can actually stitch that line and it will kind of create an image, and it works pretty good. So it looks a lot better on your phone, on the app, or on your computer, whichever one you use. So don't worry about that too much. We have a discount code that we will link in the description below, so be sure to check out. We'll also link all the products that we love to use with this in the link below. And be sure to subscribe and like this video if you found it useful.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
See you in the next one.